Hello, everybody. What's going on? My name is Joseph. I'm going to be your low budget host of the day. Uh, I'm going to do a somewhat quick, hopefully, this is a quick video. I'm going to do a somewhat quick video because this is nighttime and this is kind of breaking news. So let's just get into it. OPEC Plus agrees deep oil production cuts. Biden calls it short-sighted. So for those guys who don't know, OPEC has been meeting this week talking about oil output, and here's what they decided today. It's from Vienna, London. This is Reuters reporting. OPEC agreed steep oil production cuts on Wednesday, curbing supply in an already tight market, causing one of its biggest clashes with the West as the U.S. administration called the surprise decision short-sighted. OPEC's de facto leader, Saudi Arabia, said the cut of 2 million barrels per day of output equal to 2% of global supply was necessary to respond to rising interest rates in the West and a weaker global economy. The kingdom rebuffed criticism it was colluding with Russia, which is included in the OPEC group, to drive prices higher, and said the West was often driven by wealth arrogance when criticizing the group. The White House said President Joe Biden would continue to assess whether to release further strategic oil stocks to lower prices. Okay, can the United States actually get the strategic reserves instead of China? Sorry, but that's where they were going earlier. Anyways, sorry. This is maddening to me. This whole situation could be avoided if we actually drilled our own bloody oil. If our president wasn't so dumb enough to think that shutting down all the pipelines when he first started, which he did, was not going to have any negative impacts. This is what it's leading to. We're getting oil shortages because of this. So, but anyways, let's go to Fox Business, because Fox Business also has a decent article on this as well. They report, this is from 2 hours ago, U.S. oil industry mocks Biden after OPEC announces production cuts. The U.S. Oil and Gas Association mocked President Biden on Wednesday for seemingly having no other options to counter rising gas prices than turning to the U.S. oil industry his administration has snubbed. Yes, President Biden said earlier Wednesday he would release 10 million more barrels of oil from the U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve to combat rising prices. That announcement came just hours after the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, or OPEC, said it would be cutting oil production by 2 million barrels per day. In March, Biden said he would release 1 million barrels of oil a day to counter record-high gas prices amid a global economic recession, inflation, and disruption to the market caused by the war in Ukraine. Reserves are now at their lowest levels in nearly 40 years. So where are we getting this oil then if we're releasing 10 million more barrels of oil from our strategic reserves, which, by the way, strategic reserves, those are meant for wartime. Those are meant for when we are at war with people. We are not currently at war with anybody, as far as I'm aware. We're we have actions periodically, but we have not formally declared war on any other nation. We're trying to get ourselves into one, which I don't like us doing, but we're not currently at war. So this is, to me, a really dumb plan. When talk about short-sighted, getting rid of your own reserves is pretty short-sighted if you ask me. But anyways, continuing with the article, this is what the U.S. Oil and Gas Association tweeted out earlier today. OPEC says no SPR options, but all but gone. The White House has one option left, and it is the one option they should have never turned away from in the first place: the U.S.-based oil and gas industry. Life comes at you pretty fast. Yes. So this article continues. Biden has had a hostile relationship with the oil industry. Hostile is is kind of understating it, but okay, since becoming president. On his first day in office, he issued an executive order canceling the Keystone XL pipeline. Biden has also repeatedly blamed oil companies for this year's surge in energy prices, which has been partially driven by Russian President Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine. Thank you for saying partially driven, because it is not entirely Putin's fault that this happened. He did not help the situation by any stretch by invading a country with a lot of oil, but it is not entirely his fault. Meanwhile, OPEC's decision Wednesday to sharply cut production to support sagging oil prices is anticipated to deal another blow to the struggling global economy and raise politically sensitive pump prices for U.S. drivers, just weeks ahead of the midterms. Oh man, red wave is coming. I'm just saying. The White House condemned the OPEC decision and said in a joint statement released by National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan and NEC Director Brian Deese that Biden was disappointed by the short-sighted decision by OPEC to cut production quotas while the global economy is dealing with the continued negative impact of Putin's invasion of Ukraine. Okay, what does that have to do with Saudi Arabia? Saudi Arabia makes plenty of money without Russia's help. That's why they don't really give a rip on whether or not the rest of the Western world is suffering with their production costs. They are in it for the money. That's literally all they are in it for. You know, we could actually compete with them, but yeah, like the oil companies just said, Biden's gonna have to turn to them to actually get oil. But that would not look very good for Biden going forward, because Biden and the Democratic Party as a whole has been trying to prop up green energy policies, the green industry, which is a big moneymaker as well. They wouldn't be invested in it if it wasn't a moneymaker for them. But overall, my take on this was breaking news. I wanted to make this somewhat quick. So overall, my take on this, I really think a lot of this could have been avoided if the Democrats weren't too short-sighted, and weren't too dumb enough to think that they could pull off doing a bunch of green stuff without shutting down the economy. I also think it was very short-sighted to shut things down when you actually didn't have the green energy you needed to run the economy, to be able to run the country. But anyways, what do I know? I'm just a lowly man from Texas, from flyover country. Well, what do I know about energy? Oh yeah, wait a minute. They drill it where I live. At least they drill north where I live, south where I live. I know a lot about. I know a decent amount about energy, and I also know that there is a lot of oil that is needed to be drilled in our own country where we could compete with OPEC. So screw OPEC. Let's drill our own oil. Screw the green energy people until they come up with a viable option that would not starve out the human race. So, anyways, overall, I do think this is going to lead to more support for the Republicans, hopefully, if the Republicans don't flub it, which they could. But anyways, I just want to get the story out, so thank you for watching this quick video, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. If you see this tomorrow, have a nice Thursday. Bye.